Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is an interesting battle. You're looking at a BT-42. It's down in the books as a Tier 5 German premium light tank, but in actual fact it's Finnish. Yes, it's part of the captured equipment that Finland managed to get from Russia or Soviet Union during the continuation war. Game on! Yes, it's Girls on Panzer! And that means we get the annoying Japanese girls talking in their very high-pitched voice. Okay, well, what is it? It's basically a BT-7 that's being converted to the BT-42. It's got a 4.5-inch howitzer as its main armament, and in fact it was the only vehicle that was carrying the 4.5-inch howitzer. The FV304 is fictional. And, we just got spotted there. You're looking at pumicka2, and he's in the SOGM clan, or SOGM. And he's actually in platoon with the VP behind him. That's Standik 2, or is it Standik 2408? And also a Turan 3, who's under the command of Muri, also from SOGM. Okay, he's managed to get to the bush where he can actually start spotting. Of course, his job is to find the enemy. And he's already found a T-29, an M6. He saw that Leopard right at the start. Tier 7 game with Tier 5 tanks, so he's bottom tier. And he's spotting for his team at the moment. Nobody up ahead of him, but plenty to the right. Well, I'll tell you more about the story about how Finland managed to get hold of these tanks. They actually captured 20 operational BT-7s from the Soviets, and it was actually quite funny because they snuck in the middle of the night when the guards weren't looking, and they literally just hot-wired the vehicles and took them out of the tank park. In fact, they took 10 of them, and that's half the regiment. So the next morning, the commander of the Soviet tank company was very upset, and he had to report that he'd lost 10 of his vehicles during the night. Well, the Finns are very cheeky. There goes the Leopard. They actually came back the next night and stole the other 10 as well. So they actually now had 20 BT-7s, and the Soviet regiment had effectively lost all their armour. Unfortunately for the commander of the Soviet regiment, the NKVD were not happy with this, and they came and they executed him. So it wasn't a happy ending for the commander, but it certainly was for the Finns. Because what they did is they converted these BT-7s into, well, they say in the books an SPG, but it was actually an assault tank. Basically, a Finnish copy of a KV-2 with a 4.5-inch howitzer, which is 114mm, instead of the big M10 Soviet 152mm howitzer you find in a KV-2. But actually it was quite effective. These vehicles are capable of 52 kilometers an hour. I don't think you're going to get that out of a KV-2 unless you've got plenty of tanks behind him pushing him and the wind, and he's going downhill. Okay, we found another enemy tank. It's a P-43, and our guys are starting to put some shells into him. Or at least they appear to have been trying. Well, we know that our Fifi is trying. You can see these shells whizzing past. The actual 4.5-inch guns the Finns got from the British, of course. It was a British design gun, a British field howitzer produced during 1909 and 1917. And it actually had a gun manlet and a muzzle brake of Finnish design to put it into the BT-7. They saw action in the spring of 1943 when the Soviets were attacked, when the Finns attacked the Soviets on the south bank of the Svir River. But as of January 1945, the Finnish army had only 9 of them left, and by that time they were removed from service. I believe they still have 3, but the rest was all scrapped, which is a pity, really, because it would have been interesting. Uh-oh. Well, our T-3485 tried to make a quick dash across the death zone, and unfortunately it didn't work because he got absolutely splattered by that second plane. Not good. But we're still moving. And we've got 1,867 of spotting now. And I think this guy has made a fatal error because he's gone out and he's in the open. And that Tiger P is taking fire and we're picking it up. 2,448 now. Yeah, he's even firing on the move, which is basically just saying, here I am, shoot at me. So if you ever want to see a BT-42, they do have them at the Finnish Tank Museum, which of course is in Finland. I can't tell you where because I don't know where, but certainly it's interesting that they turned captured tanks into assault guns. Now, I don't know why, but the Japanese also like this tank, and they turned it into a Gulsum Panzer tank. So they... Oh, what a pity, he's gone. And that was Standik 2408 in his Fifi getting the kill. Oh, no, that was a shell aimed at us. In fact, yeah, there's a Honi 3. It's those Japanese girls again. Why do they always have to wear short skirts and naval uniforms? I think it's a fetish the Japanese have. Less talked about, the better. Yeah, the Japanese are very fond of young, small girls wearing naval uniforms. Okay, well, he's seen the target behind him, a T-29, and he's bushed him so that he can shoot using the bush mechanic. And now he's going to have a go. 4.5-inch howitzer. It's capable of 370 alpha. And he's just wiped out the T-29 with one shot. With a heat round. Okay, another T-29. Ooh, look at the way that shell arcs through the air. Okay, they spotted an S-51 over by the railway line. But there is a tank up ahead of us. There he is, T-3485M. Now, he's got the 85mm gun, so we don't really want to tangle with him, not if we can help it. The standard reload for this gun is 13.33 seconds. You've got to admit it is a large round. It is an artillery round, really, more than anything. But you can see here that pumicka2's got it down to 11, so he's not 2 seconds off. Now, he could take that guy out if he can get the right shot. He was lining it up, but he didn't have to worry because somebody else got it for him. He's now up to 5,047 hit points of spotting in this game. So he's doing a massive job when it comes to spotting, and he's going to have a go at that guy. Oh, no, he couldn't. He's gone. And that means now the enemy's down to just 5 tanks. So he's approaching very carefully right at the back of the map. I did mention about this thing being really nippy, actually. 52 kilometers an hour. It's quite handy. The box structure and everything like that was added by the Finns of the turret to actually make it more room. Oh, he's found the S-51. Oh, he's trying to run away. Oh, this is where howitzer versus howitzer. Just like that. So you can see why it went in at tier 5. That gun is just way too powerful to be at any other tier. Oh, we've got the Honi 3 up there, and okay, you decided to stop in a bush. That's novel. And now you're out the game. 306 hit points with one shot. No, I think it is a premium. I'm not sure how you get hold of it. Because I wasn't alert at the time that they went on sale. If I had known, I probably would have tried to get hold of one. I suspect it was probably a loot box thing. Oh, he thinks there's an enemy tank up there. No, he's up in front of us. And there's the Bishop. I'm not sure if we're going to get to the Bishop in time. No, the M12 got him. And that means now there's only one enemy tank left, and that is a T-67. So he's got a much faster fire rate than us, and that is going to be dangerous. We just need to make sure we get him with one shot if we do get him, because he's got very thin armor. Where are you? There you are. Okay, now get close. Oh, now that didn't work, and we lost our... Well, that worked. We spotted for it instead. Game over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for pumicka2 in the BT-42, the Jatkosota. Sota, I can pronounce it. That's the Japanese name for it in Girls and Panzer. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. Well, he did far more than that. And he got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, as well as a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points with his own vehicle, and a patrol duty as well for being the only one spotting 6 enemy tanks whilst they were damaged. In fact, he was just 1 tank short of getting a scout medal as well. It's such a pity that he didn't get that one. But he found 8 of the enemy, just needed 9, just that extra 1, and he would have got the scout. So if he got the scout, that would have made him the perfect, that would have been a holy trinity. It would have made him the perfect light tank driver, because he actually did find all the enemy and allow his teammates to get the kills. Let's have a look at team score. Well, you can see that he didn't do much damage in the game, but he spotted for a lot. The high scorer was the M12, who managed 2,613 hit points. He got the high caliber. Second highest damage went to the Striv 74, who was alongside him right until the end of the game, with a T67 took him out. 2,141 hit points of damage to him. And the third highest damage in the game is the T67, the last enemy tank. 1,789 hit points, just tipped him over the Fifi on their team, who managed 1,623. So disappointing that Standick actually missed out on getting the third highest. But we can see here that pumicka2, 889 hit points, and you saw those shots. He just literally 1 shot in most cases was enough to finish off the enemy tank. Of course, unlike the Burt or the Bishop, this thing is firing a shell that is extremely accurate but very horizontal. So it's got a very slow trajectory, slow shell, but it does go very high. So you're almost like lobbing the shell at the enemy. But what a shell it is if it does hit the target. When it came to kills, you can see he was right at the top of the table, because he got 3 kills, and so did the M12, who also got the final kill of the game. And 2 kills went to the IS, the AA-43, the Fifi, and the Turan on the enemy team, on his own team rather. And on the base XP, we can see that right at the top is pumicka2 with 1,832, most of that down to the fact that he did spot for his team massively. So it's a very high base XP, 1832. Second place was the Striv 74, 1,083. Third place was the M12 with 1,035. They were the only 3 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game. And you can see just behind it is his teammate in the Fifi and the Turan. You can see they were just behind him on base XP, right at the top of the table, so to speak, just underneath 1,000. Anyway, let's have a look at detail. He only fired 6 shots in that game. 4 of them hit the target, and 3 penetrated and did the damage. 889 hit points, of which 306 were at more than 300 meters. 1 hit received, it was a penetrating shot, that was from the Honey 3, and 1 hit by Web Splash, that was from the S51. So those were the 2 tanks that he later took out and got the duelist for. 8 enemy vehicles were spotted. If only he'd spotted that 9th, that would have been really good. 3 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and 5,939 hit points of spotting assist in that game. On a premium count, he actually made 105,368 credits on a tier 5 light. Let that rub in for a moment. 105,000 from a tier 5 light in 9 minutes. That's a pretty good score for Frontline, but let alone for a tier 5 light in just 9 minutes. He also earned 26,243 experience points out of that one as well. He got a massive personal missions payout. And of course, being a premium, it gets premium bonus as well. And he was playing in platoon right from the start. But what a funny little tank. It is such fun. It's basically, this is what they should be doing for all TDs in the game. They should be making it possible for all TDs to turn into SPGs, basically by being able to shoot indirect at enemy tanks. So they basically become little Arty. And if you did that, because a lot of M10s and the like carried sextants, so they could actually fire at the enemy like an SPG would, indirect fire, and it would open up SPGs to so many people who don't play them because they don't know how to. And if we got the TDs having this skill, this extra skill to be able to turn into an SPG at any moment and then fire indirect using battle assistance so that they can actually see the enemy at a distance based on other people's reporting and spotting, then you'd actually have a lot more SPG shells flying through the air towards the enemy, indirect fire, and it would actually be hilarious because I think it would certainly stop a lot of camping in a major way. I'm only joking, but yeah, I think it would open up SPGs to a lot of players because then every TD that has a sextant has the ability to shoot indirect, would be shooting indirect, because it's a much more fun way of playing the game. Well, I suppose so. Some people may say otherwise. But I hope you enjoyed this battle because it was a really fun battle by pumicka, and I've got to see if there's some way I can get a BT-42. I just hope it's still on sale. I just don't want to get those annoying Japanese girls in there as well at the same time. Oh dear. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.